The woman who remembers everything. What do you do when you can't forget? Not in the poetic sense. Not the way people say, "I'll never forget," when they mean the memory will fade, but the feeling remains. I mean literally. When you have perfect recall of every face you've twisted in agony, every scream you've caused, every reality you've shattered. When your mind is a museum of horrors, and you're both the curator and the only visitor, walking those halls forever. I remember everything. Every single thing. It's the curse of chaos magic, the price of touching infinity. My mind exists across dimensions now, fractured and whole simultaneously. I remember being 10 years old and happy. I remember being dead. I remember being a goddess. I remember being a ghost story that mothers tell their children, "Behave, or the Scarlet Witch will come for you." I remember the exact temperature of Pietro's hand when he held mine in the rubble. I remember the specific shade of red vision synthetic blood turned when the Mind Stone was ripped from his skull. I remember the weight of Billy in one arm and Tommy in the other as I created them from nothing but desperate love and impossible magic. And I remember their faces when they realized I wasn't their mother. The way their eyes changed from confusion to recognition to pure, primal fear. You don't come back from that. You don't wash that off. You don't get to heal and grow and become better when every moment of your worst self is carved into your consciousness like scripture. But let me tell you what they don't put in the reports, what the heroes who stopped me don't understand. I'm still here, still existing in the spaces between spaces. Still feeling every emotion I caused in others because chaos magic doesn't just reshape reality, it creates empathy loops. I feel what they felt, the citizens of Westview, their terror bleeding into me like poison. The Illuminati members, their final moments of agony etched into my nervous system. America Chavez's fear as I hunted her through dimensions. I am the villain and the victim of my own story, suffering my sins in real time. Forever, there's a version of me, maybe several, who would tell you this is justice. That I deserve this eternal punishment for what I've done. That a woman who enslaved thousands, who murdered heroes, who traumatized children, who broke reality itself in service of her own pain, that woman doesn't get peace. She gets exactly this: consciousness without escape, memory without mercy, existence without end. And maybe they're right. Maybe this is what karma looks like when you're powerful enough to break its rules. The universe finding a way to balance the scales by making me carry every sin in my body like shrapnel I can't remove. But here's what keeps me functioning in this half-life, this state between death and resurrection. I understand now. Finally, after everything, I understand what I was actually searching for. It was never about the boys. Not really. Tommy and Billy were symbols, proof that I could create something pure, something good, something that didn't end in ashes. They represented a future where I wasn't defined by loss, where I got to be something other than the girl who survived, the woman who grieved, the witch who destroyed. I wanted to be a mother because mothers are creators, not destroyers. Mothers are chosen by fate to nurture, protect, build. I thought if I could be, that if I could hold my children and watch them grow, I could finally prove I wasn't the weapon Hydra made me, wasn't the monster my pain transformed me into. But you can't build a foundation on stolen ground. You can't create genuine love from forced reality. And you can't become a mother by terrorizing someone else's children. The Darkhold knew this. It whispered the truth wrapped in lies. Yes, your boys exist elsewhere. Yes, you deserve to be happy. Yes, take what you want. But it never mentioned the cost. Never explained that taking would transform me so completely that my own children wouldn't recognize me as anything but nightmare. I was trying to escape my nature, and instead I became its purest expression. The Scarlet Witch, the destroyer, the cautionary tale. Strange was right to fear me. Wong was right to fight me. America was right to run. They saw what I couldn't, that my love had curdled into something toxic, something that consumed everything it touched, and called it devotion. When Mount Wundagore collapsed, when those rocks came down and I finally let go, I felt relief. Not because I wanted to die, but because I wanted to stop. Stop running. Stop fighting. Stop trying to rewrite a story that was always going to end with me alone, surrounded by the ruins of my own making. But chaos magic has a sick sense of humor. It won't let me die. It won't let me disappear. Instead, I exist in this liminal space, not alive enough to act, not dead enough to rest. I'm a consciousness spread across the multiverse like a stain, watching infinite versions of myself make different choices, live different lives, become different people. There's a Wanda in Universe 729 who never got powers. She's a teacher in Sokovia. She has Pietro's children in a small apartment and a life so beautifully mundane it makes me weep with envy. There's a Wanda in Universe 1463 who became the Sorcerer Supreme. She wields chaos magic with precision and control, protects her reality, and sleeps peacefully because she never learned that power could be used to resurrect the dead. There's a Wanda in Universe 838 who got to keep her boys, who raises them with love and patience, who is everything I wanted to be. I possessed her, stole her body, used her face to terrorize her children. She'll spend the rest of her life in therapy, and her boys will flinch when she reaches to hug them, wondering if it's really her or if the monster has come back. I did that. The real me. Not a Darkhold corrupted version, not a variant, me. The Wanda who was an Avenger, who fought Thanos, who made choices every step of the way and chose wrong every single time. And I have to carry that. In every universe where I exist, in every fragment of consciousness, I carry the knowledge of what I became when I loved too much and lost everything. But here's the strange thing about being scattered across reality. I see the pattern now. In every universe, Wanda Maximoff is defined by love and loss. In every reality, she's the one who feels too much, who holds too tight, who can't let go. The variables change: who she loves, what she loses, how she responds, but the core remains constant. I am fundamentally, essentially, a woman who destroys what she loves because I love too fiercely. Because I never learned that sometimes holding on is crueler than letting go. Pietro knew this. In his final moments, racing toward those bullets, he didn't hold on. He let go. He chose the heroic death, the meaningful sacrifice, the ending that mattered. And I've spent every day since trying to undo his choice, trying to rewrite his ending, trying to prove that letting go is weakness. Vision knew this too, when he asked me to destroy the Mind Stone, to kill him before Thanos could use him. He was teaching me the same lesson. That love sometimes means opening your hand, that protection sometimes looks like release. I failed both of them, failed to learn, failed to let go, failed to understand that clinging to the dead only creates more corpses. So now I exist here, in the ruins, in the spaces between realities, finally learning the lesson that cost entire universes. Finally understanding that the Scarlet Witch was never meant to rule or destroy. She was meant to choose. And every time, in every way that mattered, I chose wrong. If I could speak to that girl in Sokovia, the one watching the Stark Industries logo on a missile that hasn't exploded yet, I'd tell her, let go of Pietro's hand. Not because you don't love him, but because holding on will define your entire existence. You'll spend your life trying to keep him alive in 1,000 different ways, and each one will cost you more than the last. But she wouldn't listen. I know because I'm her. Because across infinite universes, Wanda Maximoff always holds on, always fights, always believes that enough power, enough will, enough love can rewrite the rules. And maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe that's just who I am. The woman who wouldn't let go, who loved so completely it became destruction, who broke reality because reality broke her first. I don't know if I'll ever truly die, if chaos magic will eventually release me, or if I'm cursed to exist forever in this state of remembering, feeling, knowing everything I've done and everyone I've hurt. But I know this. If someday I do come back, if I do get another chance, another life, another opportunity to choose differently, I'll probably make the same mistakes, love the same way, hold on too tight, break the same hearts. Because you can't change your nature. You can only choose what you do with it. I am Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, the woman who remembers everything and wishes she could forget. And somewhere, in a universe I can't reach, there's a version of me who learned to let go. I hope she's happy. I hope one of us gets to be